Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to our last half hour of Vaughan and Vivo. I'm trying to find something that I want to teach you and I can't find it during the next, well, tonight or tomorrow. Maybe for tomorrow's class I'll find it. But for the meantime, let's do sentences in Spanish first and in English second. Explícamelo. Explain it. Explain it. Yeah. Recomiéndamelo. Recommend it. Sugiéramelo. Suggest it. ¿Y el me dónde está? Pues no está, porque no lo decimos. Explícame por qué. Explain why. Explícame dónde están. Explain where they are. Explícame el proceso. Explain the process. ¿Ok? Con explicar no decimos me. Ahora, si te gusta mucho decir me, or him, or her, entonces te lo permito, pero ojo, explain it to me. Explain the process to me. Explain the story to me. Explain the process to him. Después, complemento directo primero. Aquí se dice explícame el proceso. Pues pero se dice en inglés explica el proceso me. O explica el proceso a mí. Explícalo a él. Explain it to him. Pero casi recomiendo que digáis solo explícalo. Explain it. All right? Explícamelo. Explain it to me. Enséñamelo. Show it to me. Dámelo. Give it to me. Entrégamelo. Deliver it to me. Llévaselo a él. Take it to him. Siempre it primero. Dámelos. Give them to me. Entrégamelos. Deliver them to me. Enséñamelos. Mostrando. Show them to me. Enséñamelos de forma didáctica. Teach them to me. All right? Llévaselos a él. Take them to him. All right. ¿Vas a tomar postre? Are you going to have dessert? Are you going to have dessert? Okay, the waiter, after you have finished your second course, he always asks, ¿van a tomar postre? Are you going to have dessert? Segunda sílaba lleva la acentuación. Dessert. Y la doble S en medio, cosa rara aquí. Casi siempre que yo sepa, cuando hay una S, doble S en medio de una palabra en inglés, es una S líquida, no Z de zumbido como lo llamo yo. Bzz. Dessert. But in dessert, no. We don't say dessert. We say dessert. Are you going to have dessert? When you go to a restaurant, normally the head waiter receives you or approaches you. Or a person working, it depends on the kind of restaurant, but a semi-formal or formal restaurant. When you arrive, the head waiter approaches you and says in Spanish, ¿Cuántos son ustedes? ¿O tienen reserva? Do you have a reservation? And if you say yes, then you say your name. Yes, a reservation for Pérez, for Andropov, or for Vaughan. Table for 4, table for 2, table for 1, table for 5. Okay? Now, if you don't have a reservation, well, they ask you, ¿Tiene reserva? Do you have a reservation? Say, no, pero somos buena gente. If you say that and smile, normally they laugh and say, okay, come with me. And they find a table for you. I rarely make reservations. I simply show up. Simplemente me presento. But usually I go early. I like early lunches and early dinners. So nobody's in the restaurant except the head waiter and the other waiters and the cook. But, and they usually take me to a table. It's very rare. Hardly ever am I in a situation where I have to go find another restaurant. But when you go in, the waiter in Spanish says, ¿Cuántos son ustedes? Now in English, the waiter would probably say, how big is your party? Party. Party. Party has 3 meanings or maybe 4. Party means una fiesta, un guateque. You get together, a party. Party also means partido en sentido de partido político. The Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the Popular Party, the Socialist Party, etc. Party also means grupo de personas. En un restaurante, the party. A party of 2. A party of 5. And if you go, for example, to the United States, probably if the restaurant is popular, often you have to wait. That's not very common here in Spain. But here, in the States, you have to wait. And they often give you a number. Or they simply take down Your name, please? Vaughan. Okay, they take down your name and say, we'll call you when the table is ready. And you sit down, have a drink at the bar if you want, or simply sit down and wait. And they call out. To call is llamar, pero llamar de esta forma para que a party goes to the table, they call out your name. And they say, Alvarez, party of 4, grupo de 4 personas, okay? A party of 4. Now here, when you say in Spanish, somos 3 or somos 4, we don't say that in English. We don't say we are 4. Somos seres humanos, eso sí, pero no somos 4. Somos personas, all right? We are 4 sounds a bit funny. Se entiende perfectamente. If you go to the States or to England and you approach the head waiter and say, we are 4, the head waiter will understand perfectly and will not laugh. It sounds a bit strange, but it sounds European, continental European. We are 4. What you say is a party of 4, a table for 4, or, lo que más se dice es lo siguiente, there are 4 of us. There are 4 of us. Hay 4 de nosotros. Okay? Joke, would you be a table for 2? If I go with my wife, a table for 2. Or there are 2 of us. But I don't say we are 2, okay? And then the waiter takes you to your table and seats you and asks you if you'd like anything to drink, an aperitif or an appetizer. Appetizer is para comer algo, para abrir el apetito. Aperitif is to drink only. And that's also a continental European expression, an aperitif. An appetizer. And then you order your meal. The waiter comes, gives you the menus, las cartas, or the menus, okay? They give you the menus and hand out the menus, and you open up and you look and see what you want. Normally you have a first course and a second course. And the third course is dessert, okay? So, you order your first course, then you order your second course, and then you order dessert. Now, most people order either, for the second course, beef, meat or fish. Meat, you have pork. Pork is carne de cerdo. You have beef, carne de vacuno o de res. And you have lamb. You have goat, cabra, cabrito, all right? You have different options with beef. If you order beef, if you order a steak, okay, steak es un corte de carne de vacuno. No es un filete necesariamente, pero es de carne de vacuno. You have entrecot, solomillo, you have these different types. These are steaks. Churrasco, this is steaks. Fijaos en la pronunciación. I'll tell you over here. Check the pronunciation. La mitad de vosotros desde hace 30 años os oigo decir stick. Y eso sí que da risa. Stick es un palo. And you're not going to order a stick in a restaurant. You're going to order a steak. Se escribe steak. Se pronuncia steak. Steak, como take, de llevar o tomar, con ese delante, steak. Así se pronuncia. So, you order a steak, and then the waiter asks you, in the United States or in England, how would you like your steak? How would you like your steak? Casi siempre, esas palabras textualmente. ¿Cómo le gustaría su filete o su carne? How would you like your steak? And then you have perhaps 5 options. Well done, pasado, muy bien hecho, well done, medium well, medium rare, and rare. Vamos al revés, vamos a empezar por lo menos hecho. En su punto, o poco hecho, es rare. Escribo rare, como raro, rare. And rare means, technically, according to the experts, I'm not an expert, rare means, okay, red on the inside, cooked on the outside, but red on the inside and cool, not hot. If you touch the meat on the inside, it's not hot. That's rare. It's red on the inside and cool. Medium rare is red on the inside and warm, calentito, okay? Medium is when you cut the steak, it's pink on the inside. Medium well means you cut it and it's basically the same color as the outside. And well done is una suela de zapato. No, some steaks well done I prefer. I normally order steaks medium rare, or in the States, rare. Now, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager in the States or a kid, I always ordered my steaks medium rare. But I don't know why, starting about 20 years ago, I noticed that the chefs, the kitchens, always brought the steak overdone. But demasiado pasado. And so now I order rare in order to receive medium rare. Because if it comes out too rare, you always have the option of sending it back to the kitchen. Now, if they're bringing it out too well done, then you have two options. You eat it, y te callas, you eat it and don't say anything. Or you say to the waiter, I ordered it medium rare and you brought it medium. Could you please make another steak for me? And that can create a bit of, not necessarily tension, but it's not the most comfortable way to spend an evening in a nice restaurant. So, it's better that they undercook a steak than overcook it, because you can always send the steak back to the kitchen if it's undercooked. Undercooked. If it's overcooked, no, it's too late. It's too late. There's nothing you can do. You either eat it or throw it away and send it back to the kitchen. So, rare, medium, medium well, well done. Some Argentine cuts, when I go to Argentine restaurants, certain cuts I prefer well done. They taste better. But most cuts I prefer medium rare, okay? And so remember, when the waiter says to you, how would you like your steak? You have those 5 options, all right? And then, after you finish your second course, the waiter asks you, would you like dessert? And then it's up to you. And then after dessert, you have coffee or you have a drink or something. And then you pay the bill. Can you bring the bill, please? Can you bring the bill, please? In the United States, people usually say check, como talonario con cheque. Can you bring the check, please? Excuse me, waiter, the check, please. The check, please. The same. We do the same. This is international, every country. Okay? Il conto, the check. But if you go to the United States and say the bill, could you bring the bill, please? No problem. It's normal to say the bill, too. When I go to the States now, I usually say the bill. Can you bring the bill, please? No problem. But I noticed my father said the check all the time, and I had forgotten. Then in the United States, you ask for the check. And then you can pay in cash, or you can pay with a credit card, all right? Here in Spain, people often leave their ID card together with the credit card, and the waiter checks your ID against the credit card. Comprobación, verificación. They don't do that in the States. I remember the last time, no, but the time before, I was so used to showing my credit card, my ID in gas stations, petrol stations. I was so used to doing it that the first day or the second day with the rented car in the States, I went to pay and I gave the person my credit card and I showed him the ID. And he was surprised. He said, no, we don't need your ID. He was surprised. That's only here in Europe, I believe. Okay, so, ¿vas a tomar postre? Are you going to have dessert? Pues depende de muchos factores. It depends. It depends. It depends. It depends. It depends. It depends. It. Nunca se dice it's, por favor. It. Y luego la D de depends. Y depends siempre tiene un S al final. It depends. Llevo toda mi vida profesional corrigiendo depende, la expresión depende. Recuerdo desde casi la primera semana que yo enseñaba inglés, me extrañó oír it's depend, and I said, no, it depends. Y me costó 10 correcciones seguidas para que lo dijeran bien. My God, I said, how is it possible? It depends. Ello depende. Y depende es tercera persona singular. La S va. It depends. Se enlaza. It depends. It depends. It depends. It depends. It depends on you. It depends on me. It depends on the lights. It depends on the camera. It depends on the technician. It depends on the people in the control room. It depends on the microphone. It depends on the quality of the water. It depends on many factors. It depends on. It depends on. It depends on. It depends on. Perdone que sea tan pesado, pero es que llevo toda mi vida recordándoos que se dice it depends on. Primero, el problema con it depends. Y luego tenéis la la costumbre de decir of, porque así se dice en español, depende de. Pero en inglés las cosas dependen en o dependen sobre. It depends on. Can I finish this list today? Well, it depends on how fast I go through the sentences. It depends on how fast. Cuán rápido, cómo de rápido voy por las frases. It depends on how fast I go through the sentences. So, depende de muchos factores. It depends on many factors. It depends on a lot of factors. It depends. It depends. El nivel de vida es muy alto en este país. El nivel de vida, ¿cómo se dice? The level of life? No, sorry. El nivel de vida en un país es the standard of living. The standard of living. Tenéis lo que es el nivel de vida y el coste de la vida. The standard of living, the cost of living. The standard of living, the cost of living. And there are different indexes for measuring, medir, measure, je. There are different indexes, índices, for measuring or to measure. Aquí puedes usar gerundio o puedes usar infinitivo. There are different indexes for measuring the standard of living. Some of them are valid and others can give you the wrong idea. For example, the income per capita. Income per capita. Per capita is a Latin expression, per capita. Ingresos per capita. Okay. Income, renta per capita. Income. Income es el dinero que fluye hacia adentro, hacia ti. Income, out, go. Income, out, go. All right? Your income son tus ingresos o tu renta. Per capita means the average amount of income per person in a given country. En un país dado, en un país determinado. The income per capita. But sometimes that gives you a wrong idea on the standard of living. For example, if you study Kuwait and Dinamarca, the capital is Copenhagen, and Kuwait, the capital is Kuwait City. Now, Kuwait is located on the Persian Gulf between Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It's a small country, maybe the size of Extremadura, I think. Not very big. And Denmark is a small country at the top of the European mainland, just south and southwest of Sweden and south of Norway. Denmark. If you include the territory of Greenland, Groenlandia, which belongs to Denmark, then Denmark is a big country in the area, but Denmark is small. Maybe the size of, qué sé yo, Castilla y León. It's not very big. It's bigger than Kuwait, I think. Now, if you compare Denmark and Kuwait, and you look at the standard of living, it's the same, okay? Excuse me, not the standard of living, the income per capita. It's more or less the same, renta per capita. So if you only look at income per capita, you can reach the conclusion that the two countries are similar, okay? However, the standard of living is different, very different in the two countries, because income per capita is an average. An average means nothing if you don't know the dispersion on the mean, la dispersión, sobre la media, o el promedio. Because in Kuwait, there are a lot of very, very rich people. Some of the richest people in the world live in Kuwait, and their income is included in the income per capita. And of course, there are a lot of, not poor people, but a lot of people with very modest incomes who live very modestly and relatively humbly. Whereas in Denmark, there's very little dispersion on the mean. Most people are in this, there are some rich people, but not so many. But there aren't any poor people or modest incomes. Everybody lives relatively well. So the standard of living is higher in Denmark than in Kuwait. But the income per capita is the same, okay? So be careful with statistics. People can use statistics and fool you. When people use statistics in front of you on television, on the radio, or in person, take it with a grain of salt. Diríamos los americanos. Tómalo con un grano de sal, con cierto escepticismo. No digo incrédulo, pero don't believe it 100% necessarily. Los americanos decimos, take it with a grain of salt. The British say, take it with a pinch, una pinza, una pizca. Take it with a pinch of salt. Cuando tienes sal, sometimes you take that's a pinch of salt. Okay? Pinch is pellizcar también, to pinch. Yes, so be careful with statistics. Statistics can give you a completely wrong idea, especially if intelligent people use them to try to convince you. Be careful. For example, income per capita, it is true, it's the same in Kuwait and in Denmark, but I guarantee you, there's a big, big difference between the standard of living and the quality of life in Denmark and in Kuwait. Okay, let's finish on the middle camera, okay? 1, 2, 3. All right, the next one. Nunca te harás rico trabajando para otros. No, perdona. Nunca te harás rico trabajando. I don't agree. You'll never get rich by working. Fijaos en inglés insertado by. Nunca te harás rico trabajando. En inglés decimos más o menos, nunca te harás rico mediante el trabajar. You'll never get rich by working. And I don't agree with that. A lot of people have gotten rich working very hard or by working very hard. Now, if we add trabajando para otros, it's a little bit more difficult. It's not easy to get rich working for others or by working for others. It's not easy to get rich working for others, but some people do. If you look at the top 500 corporations in the United States or the top 500 companies or corporations in Europe and the top 500 in Japan, most of those people who are the CEOs, the chief executive officers, or the chairman, most of the people at the very top have a lot of money, or they have earned a lot of money, or they are earning now a lot of money. It depends on your definition. It depends on. Otra vez. It depends on. It depends on. It depends on your definition of rich. If your definition of rich, for example, is 5 million euros or more, it's not so difficult necessarily to get rich by working for others. All right. If your definition is 50 million euros, there are still a few people, por cuenta ajena, people who work for others who have accumulated in the past 10 years or 15 years, 50 million euros. Very important positions in very important large corporations. 100 million? Honestly, I doubt it. That's just too much, okay? But there are probably a few cases, but not many. So working for others, it's more difficult to get rich than working for yourself, but it can be done. So, I don't agree with this. Nunca te harás rico trabajando. You'll never get rich working. It's very possible. Probably it's not so difficult. If you work hard in mind and in body, strong effort, mentally and physically, you can get rich. Ay, haces todo lo que ella te dice? Do you do everything she says? She's a very bossy woman. Bossy. Boss is jefe, pero bossy is mandón, o en este caso mandona. She's a very bossy woman. Is your wife a bossy woman? Or Sara, is your husband a bossy man? Is your boss bossy? Se puede decir. Es redundante, pero se dice. My boss is very bossy. A bossy person. Is the president of this country a bossy person? I don't know. Is the vice president a bossy woman? I don't know. I really don't know. Bossy. Am I a bossy teacher? Pues sí, bastante. People call me bossy. You're very bossy. I'm very bossy, but I technically know what's good for you. Bossy. A bossy person. Que no se mandón conmigo. Don't be bossy with me. The last thing I need is a bossy student. Me, I'm a bossy teacher. If somebody's going to be bossy here, it's me, not you. Bossy. Okay. ¿Haces todo lo que ella te dice? Do you do? Do you do? Do you do? ¿Haces tú todo lo que ella te dice? Do you do? Aquí do aparece dos veces como auxiliar y luego como verbo principal. Do you do? Does he do? Do you do? Everything she says. Fijaos, tercera persona singular del verbo to say. ¿Se dice? Says. Cambia radicalmente de say, says. Como el número 16 en francés. Says. Says. Y el pasado es said, como tengo sed. Tengo sed, como diría un extranjero. Yo tengo sed. Said es el pasado. Dije, o dijo, o dijeron. Y says es dice. Ella, él o ello. All right. ¿Haces todo lo que yo digo? Do you do everything I say? Probably not, but the only thing I can say right now is I have to go. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've benefited a little from this program today. I hope you've learned something, or I hope you've simply absorbed English noise that antes o después te va a abrir el oído para mi idioma, for sure. Eso os lo aseguro. Thank you very much, and see you again tomorrow, okay?